He had a 16-year run as the TV play-by-play voice of the Chicago Cubs, and Len Kasper surprised a lot of people when he decided to jump across town and join the White Sox to become their lead radio play-by-play man this offseason. And Len joins us on the Wednesday program. Lenny, good morning. Happy New Year.
Hey, Matt, Harold, Happy New Year to you guys. I'm a little more low-key than some of those highlights. I hope that's okay. You know, it's a little early.
No, that's fine. We like you low-key. You're a thoughtful guy. Hey, you know, you and I visited about this a little while ago, and when an announcer changes teams or gets a new job, it doesn't really move the media the way your decision did. It was a big deal for a lot of reasons. You had a great profile, and you were beloved in Chicago by Cub fans, and you're going across town. It's a rare move, one that took a lot of attention. Were you surprised by the reaction that this got?
Of course I was. It's funny. About a week after, I realized I had heard from at least one broadcaster and probably a coach or manager or front office person from every team in the game, and it was kind of like I had attended my own funeral. But yeah, Matt, you and I talked about it, and I've talked a lot publicly about it. 16 amazing years with the Cubs. I was really happy. But I wanted to be Ernie Harwell when I was 12 or 13 years old. And I've never been a number one radio voice. And the idea of not having to pick up my family and move. We love the city of Chicago. There was an opportunity here to be in the American League, to be able to see my parents in Michigan as the White Sox play the Tigers 3 times a year. To work with Darren Jackson. Jason Benetti's a good friend of mine. I've banked so many great memories and friends. They'll always be here and be a part of my life. And, I have a few gray hairs up here, guys. So when you get to our age, you start to check off as many boxes as you can. And the other part of it too, Matt, and you've called a lot of postseason action on television, the local regional networks don't get to do postseason, and you get that opportunity when you're on radio with a team. And I want to have that opportunity before I retire. And, I think I'm going to have that chance now with the White Sox, who should be really good for a while to come.
Yeah, no, Len, I think that's huge, playing for a club that's going to be good. How different, and I guess this is kind of for both of you, how different is radio broadcasting than TV? Obviously, Len, I'll start with you.
My analogy is tennis. It's singles and doubles. It's tennis, but the strategy is very different. And Matt will tell you, television really is an analyst's medium. Your job as a play-by-play announcer is to set up your partner to tell you why what you just saw just happened or how it happened. Whereas radio really is more of a play-by-play medium. Matt, it's all about where the ball is and what the score is.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. In a TV telecast, you can go in the direction you want to go in because the viewer can see what's going on, and you don't need to interrupt your stories by saying ground ball to second, throw to first, they got him. That kind of pablum, if you will, isn't necessary on the TV side, but on radio, you're the eyes. So yeah, well said, Len, for sure. Hey, I want to hit you on the White Sox though. Kind of a big picture look at this team. They came pretty close to making that run last year. They got interrupted in that division round or the wild card round by the Oakland A's. Assess where the White Sox are now in terms of the entire American League, because we just had the discussion earlier. Are the White Sox the class not just of the Central, but of the AL? What do you say?
Well, look, I'd like to tell you I'm a White Sox insider, but I'm just getting started here, so I'll give you the look from someone who's seen them from the outside. I think offensively, this team has a chance to be as good as any in the American League. I think the additions of Lance Lynn and Adam Eaton were exactly what they needed. And I think the Tony La Russa hire is going to be fascinating, guys. We know that he's kind of the modern godfather of bullpen usage, and that usage has changed even since he retired 9 years ago. Ultimately, it's probably going to come down to the bullpen and the bottom of the rotation. All of those things are important. But if you look at this lineup here, this is pretty dynamic. And I think Eaton really adds the one thing that they lacked outside of Grandal, and that is a guy who will take walks. But there's a ton of power here. There's speed. And I'm just fascinated how Tony's going to manage this thing coming back at age 76. I was with Jack McKeon, who was in his 70s in 2003 when he took over the Marlins and took them all the way to the World Series. So there'll probably be some parallels here, but I cannot wait to get things started.
Len, it's interesting, too, being the player perspective or a coach perspective. The radio guy is always the one walking around with the little phone and says, hey, let's do the pregame interview with you. Let's talk now. And you really get to know them a lot more intimately than the TV broadcaster. So that kind of leads me into this question with McKeon. I had no idea you were around Jack at that age. Did you get to know him a lot better in that time when he was in his 70s and getting a chance to really open up a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely, Harold. I mean, I have a million Jack stories. I mean, I think, well, here's my Jack story. All right. So at the time, the Marlins, you remember the Sunday games at the old ballpark, like they would start at 4:00. They played some night games. I think they even tried to play like noon starts because the weather was so horrible. And they just were experimenting. So we had a 4:00 Sunday game in late May. Well, Jeff Torborg, who we all know well and love, he was let go the night before. So I'm in the clubhouse, and I think I'm standing in the food room, and Derek Lee and Mike Lowell and all those guys are sitting there having breakfast at like 11 o'clock. And all of a sudden, this 5'9", 73-year-old guy with a big cigar, Marlins jersey. I don't believe he had an undershirt on, so just big hairy chest, just wide open, just comes kind of waddling through the food room. And Derek Lee goes, what's Jack McKeon doing here? And I go, he's your new manager. And Derek goes, he is? It was like one of those great major league moments. And it says it all about Derek Lee, who's one of my favorite all-time guys. He never really paid much attention to all the noise. He's just like, just put me in the lineup. I'll hit third and I'm good. And like, he literally didn't know that Jack was his new manager.
Gosh, awesome. The only thing missing from that story, if you had told me that Jack was wearing no pants and shower shoes, I would have believed it. Because I have such an image in my mind, sadly, of that. Hey, last thing for me, Lenny.
Can I really quick tell you a quick radio story, too? Yeah. So, assuming I do the Tony Show every day, Bob Brenly always loved doing the Jack Buck radio show when BB was managing the Diamondbacks, and they would go to St. Louis. Literally, Jack Buck would do his pregame show, and he would go, who's your starting pitcher today? Tell us about your lineup. Who's available in your bullpen? That's Bob Brenly. We'll be back right after this on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Hey, man, look, you're probably not going to devolve into one of those old radio characters that's, sucking back cocktails and throwing salt over your shoulder every half inning. But if you do, you'll be the best at it because you're now a radio guy, Len Kasper. Have you thought about the fact that you'll be able to wear nothing but comfortable pants for the rest of your career in baseball? I mean, really?
Yeah, I like to dress well when I'm at the park generally, but it will be a different experience. I love television. I'm going to do about 25 TV games, so I'll keep my hand in that a little bit. But there is something really cool about showing up and just opening the microphone and yakking. It's something that, as I said, I wanted to do when I was a kid, and now I'll get that opportunity. And who knows, if you guys happen to be hanging at the ballpark, Matt, let's say it's a Saturday and the next night it's a Sunday night game, I might grab you and pull you on the air and have you do a couple of innings of radio with me, okay?
I'm in.
Hey, Len, last question for me. Last question from me, and this is serious. I heard your booming voice in the beginning of this thing. Have you ever had to worry about your voice? Because now it's going to be different. You're going to be talking a lot more than you ever have in the game. Have you ever had to worry about your voice before?
Well, Matt can tell you, guys like us, we're in two camps, and it feels like there's nobody in the middle. Either you have like 12 lozenges a day and do the throat spray, and you only drink tea, hot tea at a certain temperature, or you pay no attention to what your voice is going to do, and then one day you wake up and you can't talk, and then you have to take 2 days off. I'm in the secondary camp where I just try not to worry about it and not think about it. I think the more time I spend on my voice, I think the more anxious I would get. But you'd be surprised at how bizarre we are as a lot, the play-by-play announcers. Matt, are you the throat spray guy?
No, I'm like you. I let it eat, and then when it goes bad, just feel sorry for yourself for a couple of days and call your boss. Hey, Lenny, we appreciate the visit, man. By the way, we got a,
Awesome.
we have people contacting the show all the time. Legendary Cardinals radio play-by-play man Mike Shannon sent us an email. Welcome to the radio fraternity. Black members-only jacket on its way to Len Kasper.
Oh, I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
It's like winning the Masters. Winning the Masters, you get the jacket. Lenny, thanks, man. We appreciate the visit, and we can't wait to hear your radio calls with the Pale Host. Go get them, man. Thanks.